PTV, Telebisyon ng Bayan.
President Rodrigo Duterte has reiterated that the country is facing a great threat from extremist Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. The president spoke during the traditional dinner in Malacanang with the Council of AFP Sergeant Majors. Again, here's Rocky Ignacio.
Don't take your arms down to terrorist group Islamic State of Syria and Iraq, or ISIS. President Rodrigo Duterte's strong advice with the soldiers during the traditional dinner for Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP's Council of Sergeants Major held in Malacanang.
Facing a very serious threat. Remember that kung ISIS na, change the whole, huwag kayong mag-surrender dyan. I-reserve mo yung last bullet mo para sa, kapag i-capture ka, pahirapan ka, gawin kang gamboy, tapos luluglugin. Kung tayo na lang naiwan doon, barilin mo ako, barilin kita. Para hindi magsakit na magbaril na sarili mo. You know, the ISIS is an extremist.
The Commander-in-Chief ordered government troops to be relentless in protecting the welfare of Filipino people against terror threat.
Mga babae doon, pag ayaw magipag-sex sa kanila, sinusunog. Pati mga bata, tinatapon doon sa mga hayop to. Huwag kayong magkumpiyansa dyan. Pag dumating yan sila, sabi ko, limit, sabi ko ang guidance ko, limit the fighting dyan sa Marawi. Huwag ninyong palabasin sa Marawi kasi kung mag-widespread yung ang gamit nila, putok-putok eh. Di mo, kasi alam mo yung muro ang lula ko, hindi ko maintindihan itong mga na my mother is half Maranao. Tatay ko si Buano. Yung just to kill and kill. Anong klase?
Meantime, President Duterte reaffirmed its commitment to ensure the welfare of the soldiers and their families. According to the President, free education to their children and health care should be given to the soldiers. He also encouraged soldiers to talk to him directly in times of need.
Ako immediate, ang tingin ko dyan is medisina, eskwela ng bata. Kasi masakit sa tao na magpagod siya, no? You know, he dies for this country. And yet, government cannot afford to help him educate his children. But anyway, so, andito na lang rin tayo. Try to encourage yung family planning. Sabihin mo sa mga... Kaya nakita mo yan nila ni General Anyo, pati ni Secretary Saludina. Pag magpunta ko ng ospital, magpin ako ng medal, sabihin ko, ilang anak ko? 4. Dandahan ka lang bata kasi ang iiwan eh. Kaya yung magsabi may sunod, andyan si Jilpe, no? Ilang anak mo? 5, sir. Pag damang sa hospital, umuwi ka na. Huwag ka na magsundalo. Marami mong iwanan. Sabi mo, totoo. Sinasabi ko, huwag ka na magsundalo paglabas mo. Umalis ka na. Yan lang kita ng trabaho. And of course, I hope it does not happen. But you know, the imponderables of life is something which we cannot really project. Ito ang sinasabi ko. Pag ang byuda, automatic talaga yan may trabaho. Anywhere. DILG ang sumasalo niyan. Casual or whatever, basta may trabaho. Pag sabi, automatic yan. Pag tanong ko, taga saan ka? Ang trabaho ng o yung sa patay. Yan na, priority. Ang trabaho mo. Wala siya. Ano na ako sa bahay. Sige. Pinakamalapit na government office. Tapos, aside from yung regular ninyo, may sinasali ko sila sa 4-piece.
For PTV News, Rocky Ignacio.
It's short. And maybe, alam ko baka gusto na ninyong umuwi. Kaagad. Of course, there's may snacks tayo. I can invite you for a buffet, but I cannot stay long also. Sumibat lang ako doon sa climate change. Andiyan sila lahat. But let me just read my speech this time. Baka makasalita pa na po nung may go out of control again. And I do not want to be discourteous in front of you. To all the officials, uniformed men and women, and civilian personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. This afternoon's oath-taking ceremony certainly highlights one of the cherished traditions for every public servant, and most especially our men and women in uniform who have shown to be the defenders of the state and its democratic institutions. As your Commander-in-Chief, I share with you the honor and pride of hurdling the challenges and trials that each of you went through this far. Of course, you will not have reached the milestone that you have been bestowed now if not for the encouragement, understanding, sacrifice, and prayers of your loved ones. They are your source of strength and inspiration for all of you to carry on with your work and inspire the rest of the force. To them, the respective families, my congratulations too. Ladies and gentlemen, as we aspire to foster inclusive growth across all sectors of our society, to the convergence of security, developmental, and governance strategies, may I reiterate some of the reminders to each of you. During our previous conferences, I have laid down my marching orders, most especially in addressing some of the urgent matters concerning peace and security. I therefore enjoy everyone to give their best and be relevant in whatever capacity you now hold. Ours is a complex and dynamic security environment. You and I know that it will never be easy. Hence, I expect nothing less than your unequivocal commitment, competence, and professionalism. As we endeavor to carry out reforms in all government agencies, I wish that you remain to be the kind of officers who put the welfare of the organization, the nation, and its people above your personal considerations. Bear in mind that your careers grow along with your responsibilities. After all, those who have hard-earned stars on your shoulders, it is rightful then that you polish them, keep them shining and brightly untainted. And lastly, as you pledge your allegiance to the flag of the Republic of the Philippines, may all of you remain faithful to the sacred, guarded with your lives, the welfare of the nation. You owe it to your country and to the people. Draw inspiration from the valor of your ancestors, who demonstrated their staunch loyalty to the flag and to the Constitution. Once again, congratulations to your respective stars. Bear the new rank with new pride as you continue to serve the Republic of the Philippines, the Filipino people. You know, I would like just to add an ad-lib. We are facing a new threat. When I was newly inaugurated president, I made it my obligation to tour the entire country, visiting camps, military, police, and otherwise. I was not cultivating or propagating any loyalty for me. To be there just to show my face. I said that I do not need it. But the country needs it badly. Your loyalty to flag and to the country is paramount above loyalty to any particular personality or person in government. But in those tours, I mentioned it to you that aside from the danger of drugs, which we never realized to be that widespread, and that the dimension was just too staggering, and I was really appalled to learn. No presidente na ako, because then I had the access to all information from you guys, from the police, from all, the BI, and even in the validation, I had to take in the DILG just to make sure that I was on the right track, that nobody would have been, it's always when your name is published there in connection with drugs, whether you're a politician or you're a policeman or army man, you're destroyed forever. So it took that long for me really, and I said the numbers are just too great, to the extent that I decided to furnish everybody, the Speaker of the House and the Senate. Sinabi ko sa kanila na mabigat ito, hindi ko kaya. I don't know, sabi ko, what are your plans are. But even if you declare martial 1,000 times, because little did we know that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6 years ago, we were already in narco-politics. And that most, on the ground level, ang mga barangay captain, 40% of the entire sa druga na. And I decided that if we hold the elections of barangay as scheduled, talo ang Pilipino. Because ang patakbo pera na ng narco-politics. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, kaya mga pa-breach the apex of your career. How long, how hard was it for you to reach what you are now? Paski just to earn a good income to build a modest life. Ilang taon mo pinaghirapan? How many battles did you go through? Place yourself on the line and come out still alive to reach the retirement age. Ilan lang sa inyo nakakaroon ng pera para for the savings of even anticipating retirement days would not really be enough. Kita mo ito, hindi ko kayo pinapaingit. Galit ako sa kanila. Tignan mo itong mga mayors. Tignan mo itong mga barangay captains. They go into drugs. Overnight, they become millionaires. Then they create so many slaves, 4 million plus, when they would never know how many, who are really slaves in the true sense of the word. Mas mabuti pa nga yung slaves sa slave markets ng Africa or the Middle East. Pag nabili sila, magpatrabaho mo pa. Itong mga Pilipino, pag tinamaan to, at gumano na talaga because the use of shabu will result inevitably in this shrinkage of the brain. Kaya mga kilala kayo, pamangkin ninyo, kausapin mo, wala naman. Mag-usap kayo, start with a topic, then suddenly, they go out of brains. Wala nang, so anuhin natin ito sila? Mga anak ng kapwa natin Pilipino. Kaya galit talaga ako sa panggilan yun. Talagang, kaya ako, full of the words na, talagang gagawin ko, ibabalik ko talaga sa kanila yung ginawa nila sa Pilipinas. When I was mayor, lahat kayo halos na dumaan ng Mindanao. I was a bit strict. But in Davao, I thought that was it. Meron dito mga intermittent entry. Hindi ko alam na ang buong doon sa Davao kasi takot nga silang mamatay. Hindi ko alam sa ibang Pilipinas, grabe na pala. So it included municipal mayors. It included. So ganito na lang. Pati ako sa sarili ko, I do not need any security. I will go back to the Alunan doctrine. They're only allowed 1 or 2 security. Mga mayors pati governors, kung takot kayong mamatay, edi mag-resign kayo eh. Pero kung sabi ninyo na you go around with an entourage of 2-3 convoy tapos may armas, lalo na sa Mindanao, I do not want to offend, but that is true. Pag kami nyo travel with 10 cars, 15 cars, puro armado, halos lahat yan may droga ka. And that has been proven time and again. Now, beginning tomorrow, I don't know if we'll be able to draft the, I will prohibit. Bago sabi nila isali ang presidente, okay lang. I travel commercial, I do not need any. Basta may tao lang tingin sa akin sa likod, one in front, tapos na. I will not allow excessive. Kasi dyan nag-umpisa. Ito mo yun, sino ba naman police pati bakit yung mayor dyan hindi pasok nila, they want the presence felt, tapos maraming security, talo pa ang presidente. Although kala natin, ayaw na natin hulihin rin ninyo, hulihin rin ng pulis, sa tawag naman dito sa Malacanang, Mr. President, nakakasira ito sa ating partido dito sa politika. They cannot do that to me. In the first place, hindi na humingi ang tulong sa kanila. Few politicians far and wide in between the years and even during the campaign. Only about 4 governors. In the hometown of my father, walang ako basig isang barangay captain. Of course, I won. Nasanay kasi ito sila sa being a public official, entitled really to. Pero beginning, I don't know, kailan yung palabas ni Executive Secretary. We go back to the Alunan doctrine. Pagka may convoy dyan tapos marami para, then inspection. There's a declaration of lawless violence. I had to do it to justify your extra duties as policemen. Spread thin ako, at saka there are about, for your information, about 6,000 policemen who are into drugs. And of course, with the disordered event about the Koreans, I ordered the police to stop all operations. No policeman in this country anywhere is allowed to enforce laws related to the drug campaign. Kasi magkakit nila yung palitan nila yung warrant, palitan lang ang pangalan, tapos pupunta. I had to explain again and again. I had to apologize almost to every Korean who would come here, to the ambassador, and to the American people. I think Panelo is doing there. I told him to make a good apology. Wala tayong magawa, nangyari. pinakabasto sa lahat, masakit daw sa kanila is talagang yung flushing down the drain sa toilet bowl. Nasaktan sila. Maski, gawain sa atin yan. Kaya, let me reorganize the enforcement yan sa drugs sa police. In the meantime, they will be arrested and I will order you to arrest them. Kung hindi ko kayo ipasok sa laro, patay pa. Walang tingin dyan sa abusadong pulis. The culture of corruption sa pulis matindi. In the beginning, pati mga generals. So that's why if you are asking, bakit naman ganito kalawak? Said, long time ago, we were already enough of politics, including the police. Now, I gave you the book Cartel about anong nangyari sa South America. If you have read it, then I would understand na nakuha ninyo ang dimension. So the second danger natin is itong ISIS. Again, I do not pretend to be all-knowing, but you have noticed that in the council over, nagle-lecture ako about the looming danger of ISIS. And because of the extremism perpetrated by the Abu Sayyaf on the south, sabi ko, there will be a time that they would visit the island of Mindanao. And nandyan na yung Maote. And from what we can gather is that itong si Hapsilon was chosen to lead. Nagbibidahan niya sila lahat, pati si Indonesia, who would be chosen parang chapter president ng ISIS. And Hapsilon from the Holo area have entered Mindanao. There is a fight, at least going on limited sa Mindanao. We have to contain the fighting in Mindanao. We cannot just afford to allow them to spread. Because ang pinakadelikado dyan, yung mga scholars. Now I've heard, not only from your report, but from mga politiko, there are about 4 to 6 Arabs talaga, lecturing. Yun ang pinakadelikado. Just like the Kanu. Yung mga political officer nila, delikado para sa atin. So, sabi ko nga kay Delphine, kay nandoon sana sa lahat, we have to contain the fighting. We cannot afford to allow it to spread. Maraming manila. Else, I'll be forced to arm everybody. Gaya ng Alsamasa. Kung sino yung kalaban ng ayaw ng komunista. But in the end, it also proved disaster because pagkatapos ng Alsamasa, wala na yung komunista. Every time Dick and Harry was given a firearm to fight the communists, were using it against civilians. Depredations. Pulled lahat na. That we have to. But I cannot allow. They're not only killing. It has nothing to do with Moro and Christian. They're just killing everybody. They are kidnapping Indonesians. Na may bagong report na naman, so a special emissary was sent by the central government of Jakarta who flew in last night. An urgent ano ang ginagawa niya. So I just reminded them that we will just we have this agreement, we have this understanding. Put it into practice. Allow more ships to magkulang kami. And by the way, I also asked China if they can patrol the international waters without necessarily intruding into the territorial waters of country, we will be glad if we have the presence of. Hindi mo kailangan gracious eh. Sabi ko basta yung Coast Guard cutter dyan, just to patrol, like what they did in Somalia. Tumulong sila. Somalia was toned down. Pati dito sa Malacca, straight, pati dito sa Sulusi. Remains to be a big problem. And kung sarayan yan, either they go up to the north, and if you're headed for Mexico down south, o dito kung magdaan mas malapit, which would mean higher costs, higher rate, higher insurance. It adds up to the goods and the services that governs the world. It's always goods and services. So, yan ang permission. Diyan pa kayo. Malas natin, tayo inabutan. Ako, kala ko, good sailing ako. Ngayon pala, lumabas lahat by the hundreds of the thousands. I was scared. I don't know if you were scared. I was hundreds of thousands dyan sa TV. Puro payat, puro malnourished. Anong ginawa nila sa Pilipino? I will understand my hatred. Talagang galit ako. Talagang galit ako. Yung mga international, you don't mean anything to me. Shut up. I have a problem to solve, and it is my country's problem. Do not mess up with me. Marang aking mabutit na lang itong bagong presidente. Si President-elect may congratulate you on your victory. This is President Duterte of the Philippines. Oh yes, I've heard that you have the bad fix with this State Department people. This God lousy guy there. And it's about the son of the area. Me and my country in that border of also the guys there, government is helping each other, flooding my country. You are doing the right thing. Hindi ko malaman ngayon if I will be Obama or I will be the Trump. So iba-iba kasi ang estilo talaga ng mundo. So ngayon wala na yung human rights dito, tahimik sila. Sabi ni Trump, you're doing it right. Nung tanongan mo ako, if I'm doing it right, do not ask me any question. It's already right. Well, that is the dynamics of the world. But may I congratulate you again. And we have always paid our trust in you. I've been mayor for one of the cities you pointed out was better developed. You know, I've hit 9% growth. 9% is the highest so far sa history. But 7 lang yan. I hit 9 because Davao is, and I could not have done it, really, without the help of the military and the police. Hindi ko kaya yung gano'n. Sino magtrabaho yung military and the police? Ayaw ko na lang magyabang kung ano. Basta ako sa inyo, huwag kayo maniwala niya, komunista ako. Yung mga babae na yung mga ganda ang hinahabol ko dyan, hindi naman yun. Hindi. So I cannot stay with you because kami naman na you have to go back to the climate change conference. I just told them na tinakot ko si Ligarda na I have to go kasi yung mga sundalo kakak na ng baril. By the time na maglabas tayo dito, arestado na tayo lahat. So, I'm proud of my soldiers. I'm really proud of it. Mabuhay ang armed forces.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the challenge and for the inspiring message. Now we proceed with the group photo opportunity. May we kindly ask the following officials to please join the President on stage. Secretary Delphine and Lorenzana, is that corrected? General Eduardo Anyo, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. And for this photo opportunity, Major General Harold Cabrera,